A business partnership is much different than some of the other relationships we have. So therefore, our agreements that we're going to want to set up are going to look different as well. So let's take a look at an example of a business relationship and see how we would develop and what agreements we'd have along the way. When you start discussing with another business on what a business partnership could look like, you're going to end up disclosing some information, possibly some trade secret information, or possibly customers, or possibly some sort of information that could be a little damaging to the company. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure that as you go into these discussions, that you understand that there's not to be discussion outside to other entities, to other parties. And a good example of this might be is, let's say you're the owner of a company and you don't want the rest of your employees to know that you're just entertaining the idea of maybe selling the company or creating this partnership. And so one thing that we do is we sign a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. And so NDAs are very common, and it's something that you sign pretty early on in the relationship so you can openly discuss what that relationship could look like in the future. At some point in time, we start discussing all the details of what things are going to look like and say, yes, this partnership is going to be a good partnership. Let's move forward with it. And that's where you do the handshake. But a handshake is not always great because it doesn't really convey anything except for, yeah, we want to do business together. We think that this is going to be a good fit. But what it doesn't convey is all the little details of what's going on. You're not ready to sign the contract yet. That's part of this negotiation, is that you need to figure out all of those little details. But at least having a general understanding of what's expected of both parties and what you're aiming for is going to be important. That's where something like a memorandum of understanding comes into play. An MOU is a non-legally binding where you can set up this, hey, this is what this partnership is looking like, or at least this is what we're heading towards. And so it's a good first start with making sure you're on the same page. When you're ready to start cranking out your product and working together within this partnership, at that point in time, you better have some sort of contract in place. That's where a business partner agreement comes into place, where it outlines all the specifics of how this relationship is going to work and what are the financial obligations and how you're going to split up the roles and responsibilities essentially of both parties. And so this is an important document that is legally binding that you're going to want to have before you move forward with this partnership. Now, many times this business partnership doesn't really integrate its technologies. But if it does, if they have their system and your company has your systems, then we may need to end up interconnecting those systems. Now there needs to be an agreement on how you interconnect those systems and what level of security is going to be with this interconnected systems. So that's where an interconnection security agreement, or ISA, comes into place. Now what we have is we can start technically merging these two companies together to whatever level the ISA specifies that we're going to do this for.